National Register of Historic Places. This building has previously served Dallas residents as the Science Place 2 Planetarium. You can see that the historical marker is still standing here this morning. It also served as the Dallas Health and Science Museum, and even at one point was our city's emergency operations center. We are so excited again that this facility is right here in this historic park. And so at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce my boss, T.C. Broadnax, our city manager. He has been a champion, has supported the efforts of our staff throughout this long-awaited process to get this facility open. So at this time, please join me in welcoming our city manager, Mr. T.C. Broadnax.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Kimberly, and thank you for joining us here this morning. Kim is correct. This has been a long time coming. I've probably been in and out of this building over the last 2.5 to 3 years in its formation and creation, and I'm just excited to be here this morning. And as Kim said, this is definitely a state-of-the-art facility. I know I was excited every time I got an opportunity to come in, at least when there were still studs and other things going on in there, to see what we would be doing. I think for me, as Kim talked about, this is an opportunity, and I think we're going to take advantage of it to begin to program and create things that are original content that really share and display the various parts of this city. I think our city council, Mayor Pro Tem included, have often talked about how we're going to better showcase the jewels and treasures in all of our respective council districts and find a way to bring to life the stories here in the city of Dallas and work with our partners and our community members to find a way to embrace and share those stories on a day-to-day basis. We'll not only film the exciting city council meetings, right? But we're going to take an opportunity to ensure that we welcome in and invite various parts of our community to really share their stories as well. This facility, as Kim said, is large, but it encompasses the things inside that I think will be important. 1, 2 shooting stages, 7 post-production suites, 1 podcast recording studio, 1 voiceover booth, an audio control room, 3 collaborative creative spaces, 2 conference rooms to welcome the public in, and 2 multi-purpose public meeting rooms that function separately and will allow us to integrate one of the board and commission and public hearings that we may have throughout the year. So I just want to make sure I'm very clear as well, as residents may hear of this grand opening. This facility and its equipment was not funded by the general fund. It came from restricted funds that are associated with our PEG and governmental funding to support, again, these types of public programming opportunities. And so again, this was not generally funded, so you couldn't put a pothole and fill a pothole with the funding that we use for this. I gotta say that. They told me to make sure I say that. However, as we talk about showcasing, I'm just so excited because this is a unique opportunity to invite people in and meet them where they are and share their stories. And so again, welcome. I appreciate all the staff and team that have facilitated the opening of this, particularly our folk in our IT area, respectively, and I'm hopeful that we get to tell the stories not only of the community, but also of the many, many departments and what you do to open people's eyes as it relates to the services you provide, to really share with them how good and better government can be and is becoming under your leadership. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Kimberly. And again, thank you and welcome. And hopefully it warms up soon because I'm a little irritated this morning because it's a little chilly. So, Kim, let's get this thing going.
Thank you, TC. And I want to say a special thank you on behalf of our communications outreach and our marketing department, which is headed by Catherine Quaylar. Thank you so much for pushing us and keeping us on task to get this right. We are so excited again to have joining with us this morning our Mayor Pro Tem, Chad West. He serves as the Vice Chair for Quality of Life and Arts and Culture Committee, and he represents District 1 so well and so very sharp. And so at this time, we're going to invite Mayor Pro Tem West to the podium.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim and TC and Catherine for putting this all together. My first experience out here was, I think it was the COVID registration videos, right? Was that right? When they put together, they asked council members to come out here and educate the public on why it was so important to register for COVID vaccinations. And I didn't know what to expect. I knew we were doing some renovations out here. I had no idea the extent of what I was going to see. And when and I'm coming from Oak Cliff, I know former Councilwoman Valletta Lil. She values historic properties and preservation of our history, and we do that in Oak Cliff as well. And so I did not expect this to actually be, more than a historic building. And I drove up and I saw this beautiful building here, and I'm like, okay, well, what's this going to be? A camera set up in a room, and just some big open space. But it blew my mind away. And this was early on. You weren't even finished at this point. The amount of technology that they were able to put into a building while still maintaining its historic elements in keeping with tradition. So it's exciting. I'm excited to see the finished product here in a few minutes, and I won't keep you from that much longer. So some of the other programming I mentioned, council messages to the public, which you've probably seen some of. Some other programming that you've seen is multilingual COVID public service announcements. The Martin Luther King Jr. virtual gala was here in Parade. The facility itself is designed to educate the public. I mean, the council has been very clear about this from years in the past to now, that we've got to be better about getting our message out to people. I hear it every single day. We're trying to get an area plan done in North Oak Cliff right now, and just not being able to reach our population is one of the hardest things. So this is a way to do it that's going to take us into the future. I'm sure we're modeling best practices here and how to reach out to people, because you can't just get them in social media. You can't just get them in the news. You've got to find other creative ways to do that, and I know Catherine's doing that. Anything that's going to be created here will be broadcast on the city's cable TV channels, which is Spectrum Channel 16 and the AT&T Uverse Channel 99, which operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and can also be viewed at DallasCityHall.com. In the effort to reach the city's large and fast-growing Latinx population, build equity, remove communication barriers, one of the city's TV channels is already broadcasting in Spanish, and that's 24 hours a day. Right, awesome. When events such as as TC mentioned, our very exciting city council meetings, we could make those more exciting if you want, TC. I got some ideas for that. And briefings are conducted in English. The cable simulcast has also Spanish language translation or closed captions. And this year the city has started offering simultaneous oral interpretation when sharing vital information from our emergency operations centers. Programming created at the center has been viewed more than 3,500 times. Some of the videos produced here include the weekly One Dallas update, both in English and in Spanish, which is less than 2 minutes long, have been watched for a total of 116 hours. And the work created here by our communications, outreach, and marketing staff has already earned statewide and national recognition. The city has employed paid apprentices from DISD's Pathways in Technology Early College High School, also called PTech, program which allows students to earn dual college degrees while working on their communications effort and getting real-world experience right here in Fair Park. One of the city's current communication, outreach, and marketing interns is also a recent alum of the state's oldest HBCU, Paul Quinn College. These are just a few of the ways that this center is going to be working with youth and with the community now and in the future. So with that being said, I'll turn it back over to Kim Tolbert.
Thank you so very much again to our Mayor Pro Tem and to our City Manager for being out here with us this morning. So at this time, I'd like to ask the members of our Communication Outreach and Marketing team. We have our IT staff, Building Services staff, and our Special Events staff. I want you to see the individuals who work so very hard to pull this together, and they have been glued to the hip for the last I've been back for 5 years. We've been working this about 5 years, but we just want to give them a round of applause for bringing today to you. So please raise your hand, stand up so everybody can see who you are. Thank you all so very, very much. And so we are ready to cut the ribbon. so we can get you all on this side to be able to view and have an opportunity to walk through this new state-of-the-art Fair Park Multimedia Center. And so I'd like to have our city manager and our mayor pro tem. I see one of our interim assistant city managers, Carl. Carl, will you join us as well up here? We want you to participate. And I think I see, okay, I'm not that tall, over this young man. Oh, is that Mr. Fortune? As our other deputy city manager. So I've got Carl and John. And is Mr. Zielinski here, our director? He's got a new title, Chief of Information Technology, or Chief Information Officer. We're going to have them to come as well. And so we're going to cut the ribbon. And as soon as we cut the ribbon, we're going to invite you all in. We'd love for you to have an opportunity to walk through the building this morning, ask questions, talk to our staff. We want to see you out here often. So thank you so very much. As soon as we cut the ribbon, we're going to be ready to go inside for you guys to have tours. Thank you again for being here this morning.
Let's have them scoot in on this side. Scoot in. Yep. Catherine. This is the pre-badge. Take your badge off.
Badge off. Thank you. Real friend. 3, 2, 1.
I got you.
All right.
Good job, Justin. Way to go. Right? Oh, well. Can you turn the mic back on a second? Please continue to enjoy music by the Herbie Johnson Quartet. Help yourself to breakfast and coffee, and the building is now open for tours. Come on in. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And like I said, this is the venue where I think we could host the H100 meeting to showcase our leaders.